What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Tattoos in Recovery. I'm your host, Wyatt Thomas, and I got my good buddy Lucas here today. Say what's up.
What is up?
We're back. How you been, buddy?
I've been good. I've been living, just working,
Yeah?
lifting weights.
I haven't seen you in like a week or talked to you.
Don't let him fool you. We talk every day.
That's not true. At 10 o'clock every day, I call him or he calls me.
Like,
It's accountability.
my girlfriend don't even call me as much.
All
It's
right.
good, though. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's good to have accountability.
Yeah, it
Everybody
is.
needs accountability out
That's true, man. That's true. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
there. Well, I don't really care. I already know how you're doing.
Oh, this is raw.
Thanks for making me look like a jackwagon there.
Sorry. Also, my job's going good,
We
too.
already did our daily check-in today, man.
You're just skipping it all. That's all right. I'll just talk to you. You just, hey, quit breathing, brother. Hold your breath. Quit breathing.
Ouch.
I'm just kidding. That was Jimmy Peoples right there. Oh, right.
Yeah, people don't know that, though.
What's that?
The people don't know that.
They do know. They know about Peoples. We told them last episode.
They don't know the sayings, though.
Oh, right.
All right, we're off to a very choppy start here. Let's reel this in.
All right. So, listen, everybody. We are doing a little informational podcast about addiction, recovery, and about the loved ones and what they should do or they should look for in recovery as a person in recovery. So what I mean by that is Lucas and I'll give you a quick example of Lucas and I went through recovery together. We're recovered now and, striving every day to stay clean. We have a big support system. And, I mean, a big support, when I say that, I don't mean 30 people calling us. I mean, we have one or two people that are solid calling us and checking in on us, whether it's fathers or us two, talking to each other daily. We have constant accountability. And so when we say this, when we do this whole episode, I just want you guys to know, like, we have accountability. Like, we are, whatever we're saying, we're preaching, we're more likely are doing it. So this is what we know to do. And so, but we also, I felt, on my heart a week ago to do this podcast because I've had, some people reach out and they're like, what do I do here? What do I do there? And I'm like, I'm just going to do an informational podcast on this. And it's for the loved ones that are going through addiction with somebody. You're not going through it yourself. You're helping out your loved one, a husband, a wife, a brother, sister, aunt, whatever it is, but you're helping that person go through addiction or go through recovery, excuse me. And so,
Yeah, we don't want to help people go through
yeah,
addiction.
sorry,
That's the main focus here is to not do that.
not do that.
We should probably preface this too by saying we are not trained professionals. We are solely speaking on our own experience.
Yes,
and,
yes, thank you.
Knowledge that we have gathered
Yes,
through going through it ourselves, and
Correct.
hopefully reaching a target audience of people that need the help.
yeah. Way to just bring that home. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for, man. That's why I got
God
the big
bless
bucks.
it. And so, with the beginning of, addiction, what it could look like. Now, this is not what it is going to look like. Let me say that too. It could look like the person is, staying out later. Maybe their patterns of hanging out with friends are starting to get longer, longer into the night, not coming home, but still texting. It starts little. It starts with Friday night, I'm going to go and stay the night at such and such place. Next weekend, it could be like, hey, can I go Friday here and then Saturday go over there? You're like, yeah, what's the harm? No big deal. The kid's being a kid. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what they're doing. I mean, even the most truthful people are still being, deceiving. So it's always nice to know where your kid's going or what's going on, and as a loved one, and going through this. But staying out late, their patterns of their daily routines are differing and never the same, and maybe you're noticing, man, why do you got a cold? It's 80 degrees out. How come you've had a cold for 2 weeks?
That was always a dead giveaway for my parents.
That may be a cause of their snorting something up their nose. And again, sorry about the picture, but this is real life. This is recovery. This is what happens. And so, if they have little dots going up their arm in a certain spot over and over and over, they may be doing heroin. Or if their face is sinking in and their teeth are rotting and they're getting sores on their face, they may be doing meth or crack. That is just...
You're killing me right now.
I'm trying to just be blunt and honest. That's just what I'm trying to do, and is what we're trying to do here, because addiction and recovery has no boundaries, and it will take your life as quickly as you are taking breath right now. And so this is why I'm being so just over the top with it.
You're always over the top, though.
I know it. I'm always over the top. So
yeah, so you're trying to give them like a perspective of some few warning signs, what to look
correct.
for.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, you've been through it. You've been through the ringer. What's up?
I guess I could try to like put myself in my parents' shoes and or even just retrace what I went through and think about when my parents started to catch on, like with some abnormal behavior, like you said, not coming home, money disappearing, not like working a job, but I never had any money. Like,
right?
Like, where's your money going, dude? Oh, well,
they're giving every excuse and no receipts, no nothing. Like,
yeah,
making
$1,500 a week, and by Monday I'm broke again.
Right, like that. Unless you're just bad with money, and you can.
Yeah, that's there are people out there that might.
Yeah, there are people out there that just cannot do money, and they just falls out of their pocket. We're not talking to you.
If you're seeing like 3 out of these, however many signs we see, that might be a good indication.
Right.
Like the money, the lying, deceiving. So
right,
small lies.
Yeah,
and starting to lose weight,
yeah,
or face sinking in. Like changes of behavior, behavioral changes.
And what should that parent do, Lucas? Like when they start to see these things, they're like, "Well, holy smokes! Like they're talking about this. Like, what do I do now? Like, what's their steps now? Like, should they have a conversation with them? Should they, what should their steps be?"
That's tough because it's like, obviously, everyone's first reaction to seeing, to finding out that like a loved one is lying to you or doing something,
yes,
being deceiving or something, is to respond out of anger.
Yep.
And let me tell you from experience, like,
doesn't work.
Addiction and self-medication, it's never personal. Like it's never like you're not setting out to hurt anybody.
Right.
But it does hurt people.
Yes.
And when the loved ones respond with anger, and that's the natural response would be to combat with anger. It's frustrating to find out that the people you love are lying to you and are being dishonest. But to surprise, it's the answer there is love. Like,
yes.
Approach it tenderly and with love.
With tenderness, love, and if you're angry, don't have that conversation right now. Yeah. Don't. You know what I mean? Like
it's only gonna make things worse.
100%, without a doubt. I know from experience. So does Lucas. That when you have that talk with your parents and they get angry, it only gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
And as a loved one, don't get mad at them. Don't shame them. Don't put them down. It'd be different if they're deliberately trying to hurt you. Then you got a different problem on your hands, and they're they don't, you know what I mean. But if they're a young kid going through this and just happen to get caught up in all the junk and the garbage that comes with schools and hanging out and sports and this and that, and next thing you know you hurt your back and the doctor gave you prescription pills, and next thing you know you didn't wean off them, you got more from the street. That's, you know what I mean? Like the kid didn't wake up and go, "Oh, I'm going to hurt my parents today by, snorting prescription pills all day at school and just ruining my life." That's not what we're doing here. That's not what's going on. So
the first step would be approach with love.
Approach with
that
love.
issue, and whether you're going to talk to them and question them about it, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. It's approach it with love.
Yeah. and you know, rolling into like a second, you know, kind of second thing is, you know, during their addiction and while they're you know, getting that in that transition into recovery, into a house, into a program, you know, you should be what Lucas says, just showing him love and hey, I support you, and we're gonna go through this together, and you know, take time and research and listen to what your kid or your person or your loved one is saying. They are hurt, they're hurting, they're in a very vulnerable state of mind. Remember this when you go to talk to them. They are very vulnerable, they are very, very shy. They're going to be, you know, torn. They're going to feel so small talking about this that you could just look at them wrong and they could get skittish and not want to talk to you, and then next thing you know, they're storming out the door. So it's very, very important that you just have love on your face, have love showing them. And why they got into it, you know, let's just say now you found out, you had that conversation, that loved one's like, yeah, I know, I need help, I need to go. Boom, you're in a rehab. Now what do I do as a loved one? Well, for however long they're staying, maybe a year, 6 months, 3 months, 30 days, doesn't matter. You need to be their number one supporter. Like, you got them there, you got them into the program. You know, guys like Lucas and I, you know, we might pop in every once in a while and see how you're doing, helping.
I thought you were gonna keep rolling, bro. I need a drink.
He's taking my drink now. They're gonna think we're weird sharing a drink.
You took a sip of it already?
Yeah, on the cast, yeah.
Oh, shucks.
That's all right. Whatever.
Hey, man, you get talking, you get that cotton mouth.
That's true. I was rude. I didn't.
Yeah, people, you hear that?
I was rude.
Wow, he's having an awakening right now.
I didn't even offer him a drink. I apologize. You know what? You can have the rest of that.
Yeah, well, I don't have.
Maybe not. That's kind of good. I kind of want that. Anyways, we got to get back to it. We don't got enough time.
You're like a
Squirrel?
What
So, during. We're talking about the during and the loved one part. So, they are in recovery. They're doing their program. How should you react when you go to see them and helping them? For just a side little bit, Lucas and I both have very big supporters. My father's a big supporter of me, and his family's got a big family. They used to come see you every Sunday. They didn't skip a Sunday. They didn't skip a dinner. They didn't skip a church sermon. Like, they were there and showed visual, like, hey, we're here. We ain't going nowhere. We got you. Don't worry. And just them showing up was just like validation of like, okay, we're doing the right thing. We're going the next steps. It helps the person recovering
Absolutely.
greatly when you just show up. You could just not even talk. You guys could just throw a basketball or football or whatever, and not just you showing up will speak volume. It will speak 1,000 words. And that was sometimes for my old man, dude. He would show up sometimes. We wouldn't even talk. He would just go hang out with the other guys and wouldn't even talk to me. Like,
hey, come talk to me.
Yeah. I'd be like, hey, is my old man still here? They'd be like, yeah, I think he's over there talking to such and such. And so, again, being a very big, you almost want to be their number one fan. Like, that's how you want to be. They're a celebrity. You're their number one fan. And when you go to talk to them for the first time, don't talk about old stuff. Don't talk about the past. Don't tell them about the money they owe you or the car they smashed or the college they dropped out of. Don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Keep it positive. Keep it moving forward. You want to be supportive. You want to be there for them. I know when my dad got, the first time he saw me, he was nice. His words were kind. He was uplifting. He talked about things he sold and, this stuff that was going around the house and, in the family while I was gone for that short period of time so far. And so it was just all positive and uplifting stuff. And probably the same with your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
They always came up and, supported him and was kind to them. They always bring food, man. That was great. Whew, man.
Big eaters.
Dude, Barclays never, ever failed us. Yeah. My Aunt Kim would bring up food and stuff like that, and pop all the time, and she'd come up all the time. I just loved her. I loved her when she'd come up, and my dad, my dad, dude, that's probably what saved my father, was him just another thing is when you go to recovery as a person, the person, as a loved one, you're going too, and you're recovering because of the damage that was done to you from your loved one. And so you need to go recover. And sometimes just going there, like, give an example, my father, like I was saying, he would just show up. I'm like, I would think sometimes, I'm like, I know he's retired and everything. Like he worked, but he didn't have to do anything. But he didn't have to come up to Life Challenge 4 times a week. But I start to wonder. I was like, what the heck's he doing? Like, I just seen him yesterday. Like, what's going on? And someone told me, like, hey man, you ain't the only one recovering. I'm like, yeah, oh snap. And I was like, dang, Gina, he's recovering too. And him just showing up there led him to being saved and his salvation. And dude, he just changed as a man, and I love him for that. And he'll always be my hero. And I still to this day one of my best friends. And so I give those examples, and Luke is the same way. I know I'm talking a lot for him right now. It's just better that way.
You just tend to do that.
It's just better.
Ramble.
It's just better that way. I talk for him. I'll bring.
Okay. Keep telling yourself that, buddy boy.
I'm just kidding. So that kind of, wraps up the beginning. And again, this is just what we experience. We are not professionals here. This is all of what we've gone through. And if you have questions, please, you can message me. You can comment on this, podcast. I have a YouTube channel, Tattoos in Recovery. You can comment on that. I have an email, tattoosinrecovery@gmail.com. Email me. And we'll help you guys out through these steps if I'm reaching out to you right now. And then there's the after. So we got the beginning, the during, and the after. What the after looks like is once that person gets out of recovery, how should we act? What should we do? And I think, Lucas, you could tell us a few things of,
I could tell you what not to do.
Yeah, I guess you could. You tell what not to do, I'll tell what we could do.
Oh, yeah. All right, we can do that.
Yeah.
So what not to do?
What not to do?
So the first time I went through Life Challenge, totally new to recovery, 18-year-old kid. I figured getting out that I could just change my geographical location.
Yeah.
And all was good. So I discussed the family beforehand. We decided that moving to Wisconsin with my sister that lives out there was going to be the best for not only myself but for family, just to kind of let some wounds breathe there too.
Yeah,
things are still fresh. A lot had happened.
Yeah,
and all right, go pack up, move to Wisconsin. Dude, it was 3 months before I was using heroin again.
I remember that.
I remember to show just because you move location doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean nothing.
Somebody once told me, no matter where you go, there you are.
That's good.
I hadn't healed some stuff, and found out the hard way.
Yeah, and I remember you used to call me. I can't remember if it was your mom or you, but you used to call me. You'd be in the shower, the shower would be running and steaming, and I remember calling you, and you're like, I'm sweating it out, man. I'm just sweating it out. I'm good. I'm sweating it out.
I was going through heroin.
You're just going through withdrawals, dude, and I could feel on the other end of the phone the pain and everything he was going through, and just it was knocking him down farther and farther inside, and it broke me, and
It's rough. Yeah.
It's very rough, man. It's very rough.
It's a really rough one to go through.
Yeah, it is.
But it's possible, and thank you to my family that helped me through that.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have ever gotten through that without my family.
Dude, they're rock stars.
It was Christmas Day. I called my
gosh.
On Christmas Day is when it finally broke. I was using heroin for quite a while, and then I wanted to stop. I didn't want to be doing it anymore.
Yeah.
But it's one of those drugs that you can't. I had to have it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd go 12 hours without it and couldn't function. I was throwing up,
Yeah.
pooping myself, shaking, fever. It's like, I got to keep doing this. So
Right.
finally one day I cracked and I was like, hey, I need some help.
Yeah.
Can't keep living like this. Just happened to be Christmas Day. They packed up, drove to Wisconsin, and came and sat with me for 7 days while I went through withdrawals.
Yeah.
Got me through it.
Dude, your family are rock stars, man. I love them people. They are awesome.
Yeah.
And very blessed, very blessed. And so going for that to what you should do is after recovery. So now I'm going to say this, but I'm also going to say when Lucas went through after his life challenge stent, he still kind of had that 1 foot in, 1 foot out mentality.
Oh, for sure.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Where me on the otherwise, I was all in. I was ready to change my life. I wanted to change my life. That's what I told myself every day, and that's what I stuck with. I don't care what anyone said to me. I was like, I'm changing my life. Like, I ruined my life. Like, you couldn't make fun of me hard enough to make me change what I was thinking because I knew what I wanted. I wanted it, and that's what I was getting, and it was good. And that's kind of sometimes the difference between people. And there's some people that are, 100% all in, and there's some people that are like, I'm not done running. I got another foot. I got a foot in. I got a foot out. Well, maybe not. Like, you can't. If you feel that way, that's okay. That's okay. You need to stay put in the recovery you're at, or at the parents' house you're at, and you need to keep thinking and keep on, re-plugging in and plugging back in and getting you back on the track. Because if you go back out in the world 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it's only going to be a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's not, I can't think of the saying. It's not how it happens, it's when it happens.
Yeah.
And
that's a good one.
Yeah. And when I left, I stayed as an intern and I did only half my intern. I left I just felt that, it was a call for something else, and an event happened that, I was trying righteously to help somebody, but by the book, I didn't do it right. And it was, I don't know. I would agree. It wasn't that great of a intern. I didn't do any emails. I didn't do anything. I just didn't like the emails, man. I loved hanging out with the guys.
Words are hard for you, huh?
Yeah. Thank you. And but anyways, I left there. But I made sure I was good with everybody. I did my apologies if I needed them. We still go back there to this day. We love that place. Anyways, when I left there, I had a plan. I'm going to get a job, and then I'm going to work to speaking gigs, and then I'll work to this speaking gig, and then into this. And then COVID hit, and then I sat on the couch for like a week, and I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then boom, I have a CDL. I'm going to go drive truck. Like, I always had like the next step, and I had it planned out. I never sat stagnant too long. And so that would be my advice is when you're in rehab, you have a year. Like, I had a year. Lucas had a year. You figure it out in that year. Maybe the first 3 months you kind of shake things off. You like get out of the fog. You figure out, oh man, like, okay, I'm here. You get yourself planted in. The next 3 months is you clear out and you reboot. You unplug, put that one here, stop this, do this, read this. And you start putting in positive reinforcement in your brain. The last 3 months of your recovery in your place or wherever, the last quarter of wherever you're at or whatever stent you're doing, you need to be figuring out what's your next steps. Like, when I leave here, where am I going? What job am I getting? Where am I moving? What am I driving? And don't overwhelm yourself. Don't get me wrong. I mean, don't think of 20 things and be like, oh my gosh, you can't. And then, if you need to stay longer, stay longer. But don't leave there with no plan. Like, you're just going to go out and shoot basketballs for 12 hours a day and you'll figure it out. Like, it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. And so, with all that being said, the beginning, the middle, and the end of recovery as a loved one, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, just a couple life experiences. Louis, you got anything to add to, to wrap up the episode here?
Yeah, it's a tough process. I'll always revert back to just approach it with love, approach it with tenderness.
Yeah.
You can't love enough on
Right.
somebody who's going through this. It's I believe that's really the only cure. It's the only solution.
Yeah.
Is love.
Jesus love, brother.
Jesus is love, absolutely.
That's right.
Number one. But also from the family and everybody else that's surrounding. That's the only cure for it. That's all I got.
Yeah. And accountability, like we said earlier in the video, we stay accountable to each other, and we don't, we don't. We're just real with each other. I think that's another thing too. Adding to everything is just we're just always honest. Like, if we feel like we want to go do something, we're like, hey man, dude, I just got these wants right now. Like, he's like, man, just stick with the Jesus program. He'll say something stupid, or I'll say something dumb, or laugh, forget about it, next thing, move on. You know what I mean? So, find that person you're with, and that you can do that with, and again, ending the episode, you can always call. Use Facebook as the to reach me, to iMessenger, or to comment, DM me, whatever. I also have a YouTube channel called Tattoos and Recovery to have all this on there, and so my old man can watch, because you don't have Facebook. That's kind of the reason why I have YouTube, and my Uncle Tony. But anyways, we thank you guys. Please, please, please reach out, and we appreciate your support. We appreciate everyone sharing and liking and viewing this. The more it can get out, the more it can get to people, and we can get it on stages and in front of people, and just talk about the crisis at hand that is addiction, and that is people dying every day from this disease, and we're here to fight it. And we can't do it without you guys, and we thank you. Yes. And we love you guys, and we'll see you next time.